It's time for the Social Show with Viwe Kyolwana.
Social Show?
Social Show.
A very new episode of the Social Show for 2019. I'm so happy to be back. It's been a really, really amazing end of the year for me. I don't know about you, what you were doing, where you were, but I was at home with family, helping out, doing what I could, and also just enjoying my time off. And I hope you also just enjoyed your time off. I hope you got to rejuvenate your ideas around social entrepreneurship, around social innovation, around social development, around how corporates can do better. And I hope you have a renewed sense of really trying to help and trying to make sure that we reach our Vision 2030 goals. Of course, Monday is always Update Monday, and I'm excited to just tell you what's going on, what's happening. But if you have anything that you'd like to let me know, please do so at bradlife.co.za, and I will definitely say it on the shows that people can know. It's January. Everybody's really just trying to get their handle back onto work, getting their pulse back onto what they need to be watching out for. So it's very important that we just put a nice update together with you on the show today. Anyway, we're going to start off with the news as per usual.
CSI update.
The 5 finalists in the 3-year Mobility Unlimited Challenge have been unveiled at the CES in Las Vegas. The Toyota Mobility Foundation launched the $4 million Global Challenge in 2017 in partnership with Nesta's Challenge Prize Center, with the aim of improving the lives of millions of people with lower limb paralysis. The challenge invited engineers, innovators, and designers from across the world to submit designs for game-changing technologies, incorporating intelligent systems to improve the mobility and independence of people with lower limb paralysis. Central to the challenge is the importance of collaboration with end users to develop devices that will integrate seamlessly into users' lives and environments while being comfortable and easy to use, enabling greater independence and increased participation in daily life. Now, the finalists are the Evo Walk, which is Evolution Devices from the United States. You've got Mobi, which is an Italy design. You've got Phoenix AI Ultrite Wheelchair. You've got Qolo, which is Quality of Locomotion, which is from Japan. I'm sure it's not Qolo. I don't know how to say that. And then you've got Quix, which is also from the United States. A total of 80 entries were received from the specialist teams in 28 countries globally. The University of Pittsburgh Human Engineering Research Laboratories led the assessment of the entries, and the finalists were chosen by a panel of expert judges. In other news, another theme, advancing inclusive and sustainable economies. South Africa will host the 3rd Partnership for Action on the Green Economy PAGE ministerial conference at the Cape Town International Convention Centre from the 10th to they just did it on the 10th and the 11th of January. The platform actually supported countries and regions to put sustainability at the heart of economic policies and practices to advance the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Hosting PAGE conference said it would advance the agenda of inclusive growth and the adoption of low carbon and climate resilient economies, as well as domestically in the African continent. Approximately 500 delegates, including 17 ministers, attended in the finance, business, science, and technology and development sectors. And lastly, in our news, a biodegradable cup made from sugarcane and cornstarch is set to launch in May this year. Lifestyle brand Red Cup Village, the Cape Town-based company behind the product, is using 3D printing technology to manufacture drinking cups using PLA filament as biodegradable and bioactive thermoplastic polyester derived from renewed resources such as sugarcane and cornstarch. Red Cup Village was founded by young entrepreneur Luvuyo Ndiki, who was born in the Eastern Cape's Butterworth but grew up in a small village in Bathurst. He started the company while he was studying towards his product design and communication degree at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology back in 2014 and has been bootstrapping the business ever since then. And that concludes our news for today.
There is no doubt that quality education can help reduce poverty.
foster economic prosperity, improve health and well-being. It can help a person to understand this world better or build a base for the future. It's clear, it's simple, education is important. However, today there are places around the world where 14 students share just one book. Girls simply drop out because there are no toilets in schools. Today, 58 million children are denied the basic right to education. Those children did not even have a choice, but you do.
What kind of things does a child deserve to have in his or her tiny hands? Probably a candy or a toy, or even better, a book and a pen. But what if this pen gets replaced by a gun? Imagine the horror of violence and abuse children are facing every day and the kind of future we are building for them. In fact, 300,000 children are still working as militants in conflicting areas all around the world. They did not have a choice, but you do.
Alrighty, as you know, Monday is Update Monday, where you find out what's going on in and around Africa and South Africa and the world. That obviously speaks to CSI and social state value, actually, or social development in whatever way which you name it. It's all kind of the same thing. And I think it's important that we do have an Update Monday where we speak about what we can be part of, but also where the trends are actually, what kind of trends happen in January, because I do think January is kind of those really slowish months, not only just for people who are in CSI, but also NGOs are really getting back into the swing of things. They're getting their ideas are out, they're getting their funding proposals out, they're looking at how they can manage the influx of people who need help. And I think it's important that we speak a little bit about what we can do and what we are doing quite early in the year. Of course, I always think it's important to emphasize the fact that we have goals. Right, we have goals, and it's one of the things that really make the show super exciting, is the fact that we have goals that we want to reach. These are the sustainable development goals that are world renowned and are everywhere, in Africa, in China, in South Africa, in the United States. I think I said Africa twice, but who's counting? Actually, we need it twice. But anyway, we've got goals, and I think it's important that you maybe affiliate yourself a little bit with the goals if you don't know what they are. But if you do listen to the show, or you're an avid listener of the show, you will know that we try to sort of reinforce them and send them out to people listening, so that they can just remember what they can do or what is going on in the rest of the world. Something that is, sad sometimes, but we don't think about it. But the more we think about it, the more solutions we have. Anyway, I'm speaking too much. Let's start off with the very first update for this year from the Social Show is the Social Protection Cross Learning Summit, which is SPECS 2019, that will be held in Abuja, Nigeria, from the 22nd to the 24th of January this year, and will gather around 150 to 500 participants, including high-level and mid-level policymakers, government officials, and policy advisors from various ministries in Nigeria, including the Office of the Vice President, National Assembly, departments, agencies, and everything else, researchers, media, subject experts. It's a 3-day summit, and it has sort of a 3-pronged approach where you have pre-stakeholder engagement, main summit, as well as a post-summit, which I think is quite cool, because you always want to sort of wrap things up. And it's adopting a combination of presentations, panels, and plenary discussions and roundtable discussions. Another thing I want to ask is, before I even finish about the Social Protection Cross Learning Summit, which is quite an important summit, is what is the future of summits, the conferencing? Are we getting where we need to get? Is there something new and different that's coming out of the summits coming this year? I hope so, because it did kind of feel a little bit mundane last year, where you go to a conference and it kind of feels like the next one, to be honest, and you're not really getting that engagement that you want as an avid participator in the CSI space, right? We are having the conversations, we are setting up the goals, and we are sort of signing memorandums left, right, and center. But are we actually coming back with post-summit, inquiries? Are we coming back with things that were spoken about last year? Are we picking up where we left off? I do find that a lot of conferences come up with new amazing themes, but I feel like there's not a real serious continuation of the conversation, and maybe an action-based conference or action-based method. If we see that we're just talking a little bit too much. But anyway, you let me know what you think on brandlive.co.za on any of the platforms, and I will definitely maybe speak to some people who are in the conferencing space and find out what they can do, what they are doing to make things a little bit better. It's 2019. Anyway, the SPECS conference, which is happening in Abuja, Nigeria, that I spoke about recently, is really a consultative summit which is there to promote a more informed dialogue using evidence to support targeted investments and positive changes in the relevant social protection policies and programs via advocacy, learning, and sharing mechanisms. Objectives of the summit include to deepen the government and stakeholders' awareness and understanding of the benefits of continuing investment in appropriate systems in the social protection sector in Nigeria. Social protection is quite a new-ish topic. I think it's something that's really important to look at, and if you are in the social protection space, please do send me an email, info@social-tv.co.za, and maybe we can have a conversation a little bit about social protection. I think there's not enough going on in South Africa in that sort of space. But anyway, they also want to harness and share experiences on the design and implementation of social protection programs and promote the exchange of best practices among local and international partners, and also just draw up a call to action for targeted social protection programs with the relevant policies in Nigeria. And also they want to use the forum to really officially launch the National Social Protection Policy by the Honorary Minister of the State for Budget and National Planning in Nigeria. It might be really interesting for people who are in social protection. If you are in that space, it might be something you want to get maybe tickets for and go to Nigeria and find out what's going on in that space around social protection. I think it's quite interesting. I'd love to go. It's happening on the 22nd to 24th of January 2019. Yes, another big player who has really come out strong in January is Dettol. So to commemorate the very few first days of the school year in 2019, Dettol has visited Setloana Primary School in Tembisa. This happened last week, Wednesday on the 9th of January, and they were donating hand washing stations to the school as well as demonstrating essential hand washing techniques to all eager, enthusiastic grade 1 learners. It's never too early to learn proper hygiene, and I think that's what Dettol's always sort of pride themselves on. I think they also hit the nail on the head, sort of commemorating the first day of school by a good hand washing demonstration. I think it should be happening all over the world. I think it should be happening all over Africa, actually. Just really reinforcing what kids need to understand about the importance of hygienic hands when they're eating, when they're playing, to wash their hands, when they go to the loo, to wash their hands. I think a lot of people put that responsibility on the parents, and rightfully so. But I do think that a lot of people also neglect the fact that some parents don't really have that proper understanding of the importance of hygiene. Yes, they may wash their hands occasionally, but to instill it into a child and to instill why it's so important is something completely different from a parental perspective, especially if you didn't grow up in that kind of space. So I'm really enjoying what Dettol is doing in that space, and I think they can do so much more in the year, not just for grade 1 learners, but I know that they have a lot of different spaces in which they work to help people understand the importance of hand washing. I know that they had celebrity mom Latoya McKinney, who joined in on the day talking to students and parents about hand washing with soap and the impact it can have on a child's health, and sharing some of her own experiences as a mom. And I think a lot of the time we also like to think that the idea of washing hands is like something that's by the way. It's not by the way. A lot of things can be avoided by just washing your hands, and some kids just don't have that habit. And it's such a good habit to have clean hands, to be just clean in general, and to feel clean and to feel good about how your hands feel, and those things are important. Those things are very important for kids, especially when you're in grade 1 and you just had lunch and you just went to the toilet and you really want to write in your book and you're just in this space where you're not really sure what's going on, and it's very important. So Dettol, I just wanted to share that as something that they've been doing from Wednesday, past Wednesday, from the 9th of January, and I'm sure they'll be doing it all around the world as well. Of course, it wouldn't be an update show if I wasn't speaking about scholarships. And I'm speaking about fellowship programs, and everybody's looking for a scholarship or looking for some help in terms of tuition, especially from a tertiary perspective. Of course, in the foundation phases as well as primary and secondary, there's a lot people are doing, and I have to commemorate a lot of things that are happening with different I know Kaya FM is doing so well with helping with stationery and getting kids ready for school, and I know a lot of different organizations have been helping to pack books to help give books. So I wanted to give a shout out to all those companies who are doing their very best to make sure kids are school ready and are enthusiastic about the beginning of the year. But as we all know, everybody's sort of really trying to get their tertiary education settled in this time. It's one of those crazy times. I remember when I was registering for my WITS, my application and just getting in and trying to get into varsity, and I really wish you well. I know it's a very difficult time for people, and it's also exciting. So it's very important that we do also speak a little bit about applications that are open. In fact, Alan Gray Orbis Foundation 2019 fellowship program is now open. The Alan Gray Foundation is calling for all eligible would-be entrepreneurs to join its 2019 fellowship program. The foundation urges matriculants and first and second year university students to apply. Such a great opportunity, because I do think that the future is entrepreneurship. So applications for the program opened already on the 9th of January 2019, and the theme of the 2019 program is Earn Your Stripes, which falls in line with the foundation's 5 pillars, which are achievement, excellence, intellectual, imagination, personal initiative, spirit of significance, and courageous commitment. The program is one of 3 programs the foundation offers in pursuit of creating a pipeline of responsible entrepreneurs. Recipients of the program, known as Alan Gray Candid Fellows, receive funding for their university studies, which is great, as well as access to support and development to cultivate an entrepreneurship mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset. And all you need is level 5 in pure maths for grade 11 final results. Level 6 average for final grade 11 results, excluding life orientation. Wow. Completion of the national benchmark test by the 30th of September 2019. You have to be under the age of 21 in application year. You must be a South African citizen. You must have intention to study towards a degree in commerce, science, engineering, law, or humanities, majoring in politics, philosophy, or economics at the University of Wits, UJ, University of Johannesburg, University of Free State, University of Cape Town, Nelson Mandela University, Rose University, the University of Western Cape, University of Stellenbosch, University of Pretoria, Tertiary School in Business Administration at SIBA, or TSCBA. Wow, I sort of like, if it's Xhosa, I just say it in Xhosa, so forgive me. Or your University of KwaZulu-Natal, UKZN. Applications close on the 15th of March. Please, if you know somebody who's excellent, and I know a number of people are excellent and have been doing very well, if you know of any, please let them know to acquire about the foundation and find out if they can maybe get their slot in. It's not too late. It's definitely not too late. Just make sure that you are under the age of 21 or 21, under the age of 22 actually, but 21 in the year of application, and find out more online. Just find out about the applications which are now open for the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation 2019 Fellowship Program. Of course, I have to also give a shout out to Kutwanong as well as Investec as they start celebrating their matric results for 2018 this year. I know they have an amazing celebration and award ceremony that's going to be happening in the next few weeks, which I'm going to be attending, and hopefully you will be watching through our social TV platform. Wow, but it's like I need to get back into the swing of things. But anyway, on our social TV platform, you'll be finding out a little bit more about what they are doing and how the kids performed this year, and what goodness is going to be coming out of that. So you'll be watching that. So I have Klanong and Investec on the ProMats celebration and matric results celebrations will be happening in the coming up weeks, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. I want to really speak to this entrepreneur who from the Red Cup Village, Luvuyo Ndigi. I'm going to try to get him on the show for this week, so keep tuned on to the show. Keep listening in. If you have an idea, you are a social entrepreneur, I'm super excited to be talking to you. I love social entrepreneurship. Really, really want to get more people on the show speaking about it, because I do think that is such a great thing to do for young people, and such a great space to be in, to be making your money but also changing the world. And I think Luvuyo Ndiki is just one of the people who's going to come out strong this year, and I'm super excited about his journey, and I can't wait to get him on the show. But anyway, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back after this with things to remember. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Sanne. I'm a chemical engineer and I work as a process specialist at Presolid. As a manufacturing company, we are very concerned with ensuring responsible consumption and production. Therefore, we continuously invest in new technology that reduces our environmental impact and increases the energy efficiency of our production. Part of my job is to experiment with and measure the flow of the raw material. It helps us match the material and the product to minimize waste in the production.
My name is Andrew Lowndes. I'm the UK and Ireland Sales Manager for Presolid Care. At Presolid Care, we're very passionate about providing access for people with physical disabilities. And we're very passionate about the Changing Places campaign that provide larger accessible toilet and changing facilities. It's fantastic when we can see the smile on the faces of users. That's our reward, is to see the satisfaction and the enjoyment that people have.
You know, when you hear the drama, it's time for things to remember, darling. I'm actually gonna let you listen to this clip, and we'll have a short conversation about it just right after.
Our first year was in 2018, and it more than delivered. We had 170 delegates from government, industry, the media, and what we're really looking for is to build a platform where we can look 10 years out to our tourism industry and look through a lens of sustainability, so that it's industry driving the conversations forward to make sure that we have a future platform to go forward.
Impact was an important conference in the initial year because what it did is it brought together a national conversation about the importance of sustainability in tourism.
Victoria is a great place to host this conversation. We have an incredible Indigenous community here that's been engaged in tourism. We also have a natural environment that we need to protect in order for tourism to be sustainable.
In year two, we really want to build on the content that we covered last year so that we can get deeper into some of the opportunities that the industry has.
You come to Impact, you have input. This is not about being told. It's a true collaborative format.
We all need to be part of the sustainable conversation, and there's many ways that affects the businesses across this country. We know tourism and Indigenous tourism is going to continue to grow in this country, and I think it's up to us to really help shape a responsible growth around that.
Even if you're involved with policy making, if you're involved with cultural activities in your community, if you're concerned about conservation and the environment, it's really important for you to attend because this has turned out to be a national dialogue.
I think just opening the conversation so that people are working together and it's not just one city or one town or one province that's doing that, but something that we are working together collaboratively from a global perspective.
It's actually long past time for this conversation to be happening. The world is changing and we need to take responsibility for our impact and find a way to do it more responsibly.
Victoria BC 2019, please consider coming to Impact. Join the conversation. Help us continue the dialogue. Quite simply, the sustainability of our planet and our communities depend on it.
Alrighty, if you didn't know what was going on there, the Impact Conference, which happens every single year in Canada, welcomed about 170 delegates from across the country to discuss the tourism industry's impact on Canada's economic, social, environmental and cultural fabric. Now, I found this very, very inspiring because I do find that as much as we find that we have conferences around traveling more and seeing the world more and going everywhere, and that's kind of the conversation that's happening around millennials, around young people, around older people, around everybody just wants to travel and see the world, and I think it's a great thing. But I think it's also important that we kind of look at how, as a sector that's growing, as a sector that's thriving, as a sector that I think is going to lead business and lead almost everything in the next few years. What is the impact of this industry on our own economic, social, environmental and cultural fabric? And I think it's important that we start looking and diving deeper into the solutions and the opportunities that may help shape the future of not only just Canada, but also South Africa's tourism legacy. And so if you are in the tourism sector and you know that it's a booming sector, you have to know it's a booming sector, what is it that we're doing to sort of really look and really go down to the nitty-gritty of what we can do that will be bigger and better for our communities, for our indigenous groups, and so many more. Yeah, and that's what you were listening to, the Impact Conference, which happens in Canada. Anyway, we're gonna say sayonara in just a few minutes. It's been a great show. It's been a hard one for me because I haven't spoken this much in a long time, but we started out. We're going to be okay tomorrow. We're going to be back on track, only on the Social Show, of course, every single day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. You can catch the Social Show, giving you the very best CSI and Shade Value news in the land. I'll be back again tomorrow. Goodbye.